Perhaps you want to start a business coaching practice, or maybe you are already coaching, but you've been thinking and thinking and thinking, and perhaps you've been overthinking. Perhaps you've been overthinking on how to do it. Perhaps you've been overthinking on where do I get leads and prospects. I was asked this question a few days ago. If there was one thing that the coaches in your network, we have a lot of coaches in our network, if they would do, they could change things quickly. And I said immediately, it's overthinking and taking imperfect action. So if you've thought about becoming a coach, listen and listen clear, because if you can solve what I'm going to train you on today, or if you are a coach and you are dealing with the lack of, I've not gotten results yet, and it's mostly related to, if not completely related to, a lack of activity because you've been thinking about it. And I say often, too many people, they sit around and they whiteboard and they whiteboard and they whiteboard. Look, I'm all for goals. I'm all for plans. I'm all for process. At the same time, you do have to take action. Without the action, without the activity, without building those relationships, that takes the time, that's putting the work into it, you will have no business. So we got to solve that. Number one, we got to understand the impact that not taking action and overthinking does. And a big issue, or a big item that's pressing that nerve, is fear. That could be, likely is, a bedrock of why you have not taken the activity. It's fear of, going out and doing this in developing relationships. But what if it doesn't work? Well, here's the thing. Pretty much everything that's ever been, that's been invented that has value, it took a risk, a step of faith. And guess what? In that process, likely were some things that didn't go well, right? So it's not unusual for those things to happen. We have to have resilience to kind of, continue to build and grow and develop, even in spite of that. But even in Joshua, I think 1:9, in the Bible, it talks about courage. As believers, as Christian business coaches, we are to have courage. We are to have faith. That God is there with us always. I can't remember the verse in its entirety, but he says, I'll be there always. He didn't say, I'll solve your problems. He might do that, but he didn't say that. The point was to have courage, have the faith, and know that he's with us. So we want to walk in faith step by step, knowing that God's with us. We got to use wisdom. We got to use good judgment. We have to pray through things and ask for God to guide our steps through that. We got to understand that the fear can sabotage our ability. Okay? And so, sure, we talk about techniques all the time and strategies on how to build relationships, on how to coach clients. But if you're allowing fear to completely sabotage your activity level, and sometimes it's just, it's completely subconscious, that's going to hurt your process. And then here's what happens. As time goes on and you're not seeing results, you begin to feel sad. You begin bad. You start to self-sabotage. You start to say negative things. I can't do this. This isn't the right time. This is a distraction. And we'll begin to make excuses as to why we aren't doing the very thing that we've claimed that we want to do. And it's simply because we're allowing ourselves to overthink and not take action. Hear me and hear me clear. Done is better than perfect. And I'm not suggesting that you be unprofessional. What I'm saying to you is that sometimes we just got to go do it. Because here's what's going to happen. When you go do, you learn. And when you learn, you are able to not necessarily pivot, but you're able to adjust from what you're learning. Period. That's really the number one way that you're going to be able to grow a business coaching practice. And so I know we all want to know, should I do this? Should I do that? Or whatever. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But inside of all that is the ability to go do it or to not do it. If you're building that relationship, you're going to that networking event, you're going to do that workshop, you're going to build that relationship with someone for a joint venture process. If you allow yourself to just think about it too much, you won't do any of it. So number one, we got to embrace imperfect action. Just simply meaning that there's a good likelihood that you will never have things set up exactly like you want them until you start doing them. And you want to start doing them and you're just taking a step. Oh, I learned from there. I'm going to adjust. I'll learn from there. And here's what's going to happen. Over time, you'll start to know things well. You'll understand things better. You'll get more and more clarity simply because you're enabling yourself to be able to say, I can do this. I'm going to learn from this. It may not work this day. It may not work that day, but it's going to work one day. We have a coach on our team who uses a strategy that we talk about, is using live events, workshops. And the very first event that he did, just having a few people in a room, 5, 8, 10 people in a room. The first one he did, he got no clients. Second one he did, he got no clients. The third one that he did, he got 4 clients at $2,500 per month for one-on-one coaching. That's 12-month contracts, by the way. That's a lot of revenue. But here's the bigger story. That was over a 5-month period. And so it took 5 months that he not just landed his first, but he landed $100,000 in coaching fees. Because he didn't overthink the process. He went out and did it. He didn't let, what did I do wrong? What can I adjust? When he did it again, didn't overthink it, just, understood what was going on, got some feedback, didn't get any results, did it again, and then did. That is a textbook response to not overthinking, taking imperfect action, and not allowing fear to disrupt your activity. Okay? So we have to have a shift in our mindset that just says that done is better than perfect. I don't want to be unprofessional, but I want to get it done. And that as I get it done, I'm going to learn from it whatever the results are. Okay? Because there's days that it won't work. There's days that'll work amazing. There's weeks that'll be weird, right? Because that's called life. And that's why we want to embrace a mindset that says, I'm going to understand that imperfect action is a part of building my success. Imperfect action is a part of building and helping my clients. Imperfect action is a part of building my network and getting to know others in my community. Okay? So imperfect action. The next thing is having strategies to overcome overthinking. And we all do it. It's very normal to, but what if I do it this way? But what if it was that? Well, what if this happened? You know what though? If I did it that way and this happened, then all this go over here. Well, what if they were to say this? Well, what if they won't show up? What if? What if? And again, days, weeks, months go by and nothing happens. And so here's a simple way to help the overthinking, paralysis of analysis. Let's say that I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go to a networking event, or I'm going to pick up the phone and call somebody who connected me to somebody else. I just haven't done it yet because I'm just, trepidation or whatever. Number one, can I live with this action? And number two, can I learn from this action? And so if you're going to do a networking event, for instance, can I live with this? Yes, I can live with it. If I do it, regardless of what the results are, can I learn from it? Yes, I can learn from it. Then go. Right? If you're going to do that and you say, I'm going to do a live event, I'm going to have people in the room, I'm going to teach some things, I'm going to network, connect people, blah, 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 blah. Can I live with this? I really can't because I don't like doing them. Okay? So we stop overthinking. We're not going to do that activity. We're going to go find the one that we can do. Okay? And so the more you do, the more activity you take, here's what's going to happen. You're going to build your resilience. You're going to build your confidence. You're going to learn things because when you don't know what you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. And oftentimes we're fearing things and overthinking things because we don't have any experience. But as we begin to get more experience, guess what happens? We stop overthinking it. We just go do it, and we do it over again, over again, and over again, and over again. I know some of these guys who, they've gone to so many different networking events, or they've done workshops, or they, have done the virtual webinars and whatnot. And we've done them so many times that there is no thinking anymore because we've got the experience. But you can only get the experience if you take a step of faith and get out there. So The best way to solve overthinking and to solve the lack of activity and action is to take imperfect action, right? Stop overthinking it and just go do it and learn from it and get the experience. I know that sounds overly simplified, but it is the recipe. Regardless if you're wanting to make $5,000 a month or $30,000 a month, it's all relative. And yes, I understand that everyone's wired a little differently. Some, this will be easier for than others. Okay, that's okay. It's all relative, right? We all have different gift mixes and different skill sets. But I want to encourage you today, because I will tell you the overthinking and lack of activity is the number one issue of why coaches don't succeed. Actually, it's even bigger than lack of skills, period. Because so much of building a business can be taught. No one, is born knowing it. You only know it because you go do it, apply it, and learn from it and adjust and so on. That's experience and activity are literally the only ways, and that's far better than just skills alone. And so if you're looking to start a business coaching practice, don't let the overthinking and lack of activity to prevent you. If you are coaching and you're not where you want to be, I want to encourage you to process. Have I slipped into a rut to where I overthink things? I take way too long to do them because I just, it just gets in my head and, I lay it down for days and bring it back up, lay it down. If that's you, you got a plan now to be able to eradicate that to build the coaching business of your dreams. All right. Hope that helps. If you are interested in learning about our Done For You process and our Done For You system to build a profitable business coaching practice as a Christian business coach, either somewhere on the screen or you can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. There's some information there. You can book a call if you're interested in chatting about it, and we'll go from there. All right. Until next time, take care.